Thank you very much, Dr. Sajari. Hello guys, good morning. You thought you were done with school, right? No more Gregory or Kianush classes? Most of you are our students, right? At some point? Thank you. So, one last lecture. Thank you. One last lecture before you go. So, first, congratulations. Thank you for organizing this. Thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you for being here, part of the panel. Thank you, Kianush, for this. Kianush is leading this, by the way, okay? We've been here for 11, 12 years, and I think this time AI is part of almost all the projects, right? That was not true 5 years ago. And we all know, especially my students, we talked about it in class, that AI is not a new field. It's been around for 70 years, even longer than that, if we talk about the foundations, the ideas. So, 5 years ago, probably some projects were related to AI, but today, one way or another, we might have used some tools, right? Some AI tools. So why is AI, why the surge of AI? Everyone is talking about it. Even my mom, who is here, my sister, my family, they never talked about AI 5 years ago. Why are they talking about AI now? So what changed? Hardware? What else? What changed? Why so popular? Accessibility, right? So the moment AI got into people's houses, right? My kids are interacting with some chatbot, my parents, my grandparents are interacting. It got the attention of the public. Everyone got interested in that. How can I make myself more productive? My HCI students always hear me saying about productivity, right? We have to make the users more productive. So how can we make ourselves in our jobs, regardless of what job, how can we make ourselves productive? So AI is here for that. And that's what I see most of these projects right here, is how to make ourselves more productive, how to optimize our work. So our goal starting next year is to apply AI in healthcare. How do you think AI is being currently applied in healthcare? We've been doing our research, we've been reading papers, we've been talking to industry specialists. AI is now part of diagnosing diseases, is part of treating and monitoring. So AI is definitely part of most of what healthcare is currently doing. But is AI simply learning how to use these tools? No, it's way more than that. To be truly a master in some field, we need to understand the foundations. We need to understand how it started. We need to understand how to properly use it responsibly with ethics. That's the goal of training that we're gonna do here at FIU. So if we move the slides a little bit here, these are the panelists that we're gonna talk about AI in healthcare today. At FIU, we have several researchers focusing on AI in healthcare. We have professors working with Alzheimer's disease, how to predict Alzheimer's in the early stages using AI, how to get personalized treatments for patients. And we've been seeing more advancements of AI, especially when it comes to diagnosing what a patient has. And if you read some papers that I put as reference here, some of these papers talk about a chatbot, an AI tool versus a doctor. Who got the diagnosis correct more often? And then they compared with a third element, which is chatbot, AI, plus doctor together. But the problem with just AI is who's going to be responsible for that, for the errors, for the mistakes of these AI bots? How was this AI tools, first of all, how were they trained? What was the data used for the training? How does it know the answer that is outputting? So these are some of the things we have to keep in mind. These are some of the statistics that I found interesting, that Google's DeepMind achieved 95% accuracy in detecting breast cancer, outperforming radiologists in certain studies. So AI tools have provided quality diagnostic services to undeserved areas in over 100 countries. So there's a social aspect of using AI as well that we have to think about. And I found the Google Trends that AI in healthcare has been surging. People are really searching for that. What are the jobs? What can we do? What are the possibilities of AI that haven't been explored yet? But with that, we have concerns, privacy. How is our data being used? Who has access to my medical reports? So if I put my lab results in some AI online tool, who will have access to it? So these problems, right, are concerns of privacy, of security, comes along with the use of AI. So it's not just a bed of roses, right? We have to be careful about this. So in this training, instead of artificial, what we want to talk about is augmented intelligence. Because instead of replacing us, instead of replacing health workers, we are augmenting them. We're making them more productive. We're making them smarter. We're making them optimal in what they do. So that's what, in this training, we're talking more about augmented intelligence. And we should focus on how to adapt it, how to properly use these tools, especially in diagnosis, treatment, personalized care. So here's an example of some lab results of a patient and how ChatGPT properly diagnosed that patient, how they explained what the person had. And then again, the same patient in 2023, this was an AI tool. Can someone change it for me? Someone there?
Guys, there's another meeting going on back here. Can you hear them? Hello? Everybody come front. Everybody come. If you're not seeing me, you're not situated well. There's just one meeting going on. Come on up, come on up. Come on up, come on up. Every single of you should be able to see me. Should be able to see my hand. There's just one meeting going on here. Okay? Come on up, come on up. There are ways up front. Close the doors. Close the doors, come on up. One meeting. No other discussion, no other meeting. Come on up, close the door. There are rooms over here. And I'm gonna take you out of your comfort zone. Come out here, then right in the middle so that people can see you. Awesome. And believe you, they think this guy is an AI. And he might be. He has fooled me a number of times.
What?
Oh, yeah. So everybody in, close the door, close the doors. I don't want to hear any other noises, okay? One meeting. You don't see me, you are not situated well. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. So ChatGPT is also able to compare 2022, 2023 lab results. How accurate is that, right? What else can it provide me with? It can provide me with comparisons, it can provide me with recommendations. How can I improve it for 2024? What should I do? Should I exercise more, right? Some supplements, being exposed to the sun more often. So the next steps here, what comes next is understanding the regulations, because AI is still an unregulated field, as most of you know, by using AI now. How is the government going to handle generated text, images? What are the copyrights of this? What is the safety procedures if I'm to use my lab results, my health records? How to properly, safely, ethically use it? How to avoid and identify hallucinations? Have you seen those hallucinations when you use the AI tools? Are you able to identify some of them? So how can we properly identify? Will the marks, the government wants to put some mark, right? If you have some AI generated content, they want to put a mark. This was AI generated. Will that solve some problems? So how can we make sure that we rely on what's actually accurate, what's actually good data? So this is what we want to focus on our AI training that Janusz is going to talk about.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Congratulations, guys. see you. I'm very happy that you're graduating, and hopefully you're going to have a great future ahead of you. Did you? Okay, so this is basically a very preliminary study that we had to basically create a course and propose a course for AI training for healthcare professionals. And here you see some of the key fields that we're going to cover in this course, and that would be basically the beginning, because there are going to be like 4 or 5 courses that come after that, and there will be more details in those courses. But the goal is to focus in the first course on AI training when it comes to AI basics. They're going to learn what the basics of AI is and some preliminary definitions, then key technologies like NLP, conversational AI, ChatGPT, what the basics of those are, and like how computer vision can help, let's say, medical imaging to, let's say, diagnose cancer or even detect cancer early, predictive analytics, robotics in medicine, all of that would be the key technologies that they will be exposed to in this training.
We need AI help.
Yeah, please. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Yes, I can do it.
Sorry.
Okay, yes, so basically, the other fields that we're going to cover mostly would be AI applications in healthcare, because it's going to be a hands-on learning, hands-on training. We don't want just to talk about theories. Theory is important, but you need to talk about the applications, especially for clinical decision support, like what are the diagnostic tools are, how to use them, what are the best practices of using them for treatment, for personalized medicine. As I said, medical imaging is very important for early detection of different diseases, especially cancers, like breast cancer, as Greg mentioned earlier, and disease prediction, and even for hospital management. How do you make the day-to-day operation of hospitals more efficient with less costs, right? Those are all things that AI can help, can lower the costs by predicting trend forecasting. I see a lot of you are talking about forecasting the stock market, but it's not going to be only a stock market. It can be healthcare data, it can be volume of patients. Predicting the patient volume in the long run would help the hospital operation. Then we talk about ethical and regulatory aspects. As you see, there are lots of considerations when it comes to ethics, and it's a very hot topic. The government tries to regulate some of that. We have, especially for healthcare, it's a very sensitive area, right? Because we are dealing with the lives of people, so bias and fairness is one of the issues. A lot of machine learning algorithms are biased toward some socioeconomic environments. We have to make them fair. There are some privacy and security issues that we have to face, especially when you're sharing your data with AI. You don't know how it's going to be used. That's a very important information when it comes to healthcare. Also, we have some accountability of AI. Remember, as Greg said, augmented AI is very important, and AI helps healthcare workers to make decisions. If the decisions are wrong, then it's going to have a very bad consequences. How do you regulate AI so that you can prevent some bad consequences of using it? All right, and then, as I said, we're going to focus on hands-on training, the interfaces of AI tools, some practical experience with chatbots. Greg is going to show you a very nice demo at the end about chatbots, so you're going to see how they can get exposed to it. They have a lot of in-class activities of doing hands-on training, and we talk about case studies of the real-world examples of using AI and the successes and the failed stories of using AI in healthcare. And by going through that, they know the ethical considerations and all the important ethical considerations that comes with using AI in healthcare. And finally, we're going to focus on human AI collaborations and how to use AI to incorporate it in daily practice of doctors, even using AIs not to replace humans but to help them. And this is a quick chart that shows you basically how this course is going to cover AI in healthcare. We have on the right machine learning and data science, which are the foundational science behind AI. On the left, you see the hot technologies nowadays. You know, NLP, large language models, generative AI, conversational AI, and even, you know, a new term that you may have heard of, prompt engineering. How to communicate with Gen AI, how to write prompts so that when you give the information to the Gen AI, you get a reasonable and precise answer. And that's very important when it comes to healthcare. So we focus on prompt engineering a lot in different units, like in Unit 3 or even in Unit 6 when we talk about ethics and responsible computing. So I don't want to make it too long. Let me briefly go through the units one by one. Remember, this course is not going to require any prior programming or CS education because we assume that the healthcare professionals don't have programming background, so it should be basically in this course there is some assignments that the trainees will use tools to create machine learning algorithms without even writing one line of code. And that's possible with the modern technology. I'm going to show you one example from Google. Here are the units. The first unit, Introduction to AI. You see the objectives. We're going to basically define what AI is and identify the key applications of it, especially in healthcare. The focus is always on healthcare. The second unit is explaining what NLP is and LLMs are. You may say, what's the point of talking about this in a healthcare professional training? The reason is the technology is growing so fast that if you don't understand the basics and behind the scene of generative AI, you're going to get lost when the technology changes. So even if in 1 or 2 years, new models, new conversational AI come into the industry, we can expect that the trainees can understand them because they know the background. They know how NLP works. They know how LLMs work. The Unit 3 focuses on Gen AI in healthcare. As you see, the trainees will practice designing chatbots and also using VoiceFlow and ChatGPT AI with Gradio, which is a tool that uses ChatGPT and other generative AI. Unit 4, and remember, they will basically examine ways to use them to solve health care related items. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so there is 3 more units. I'm just gonna quickly mention them. Intro to data science, discuss big data, how to get some insight from big data, especially when it comes to healthcare. Unit 5, machine learning in healthcare. As I said, Google's Teachable Machine is an online service that allows you to build and test your machine learning models without even writing one line of code. So they can basically use one of the existing data sets, like let's say the breast cancer detection images, the data set, and then use this cloud service to create their own machine learning models and test it and see the result for themselves. But they need to understand that there are some drawbacks of using machine learning, like overfitting and generalization. And final unit is ethics. They will basically learn how to understand like ethics by analyzing the real world case studies. And basically they see the real world stories of AI failures, so they know if they're using AI, there will be some consequences, and they have to be very careful and use it responsibly with accountability. And that's pretty much it. Now Greg is going to show you a quick demo, if this works.
Yes. Who used Streamlit in my class here? Yeah? Who is using Streamlit here for the capstone? So I've been using Streamlit in my classes since 2019, 2020, pretty much since they started with the first beta version, and it grew. All my students know that I love it, how was the learning curve for it? Was it really hard, guys? No, right? It was good. Having some Python knowledge. So we want to expand. What Kianush just presented is part 1 of the course. We want to expand it to multiple courses for those more technical. I want them to be able to have their own chatbot, very personalized. I want them to be able to upload documents in a safe way, analyze those documents, and most importantly, if anyone asks questions that are not related to healthcare, that is not related to the document there, obviously, the chatbot will have to flag that. Hey, I don't talk about that. So we want these participants in these workshops to be able to come up with their own chatbots. So we want them to be able to come up with good prompts. We're gonna teach them different types of prompts. How do we get the best out of ChatGPT and other bots? Obviously, all in a responsible and secure way. So I think the next question I asked there to the chatbot is, what's the overall health, I believe? Any recommendations for the next steps? And obviously, we want to use different models. Have you played with different models, different APIs, different models? So we want to also leverage all these available ones, which ones are the most, the cost benefit, right? We want the cheaper ones that are still producing good responses. And I think the last question that I asked there in the video is how to make a chocolate cake. So we're gonna see soon what the answer was to that. I think it's running the model. So this was the lab results from 2023. So this is pretty much some recommendations. Go back to the gym, right? Go exercise a little bit, go kayaking in Biscayne Bay. So there, how to make chocolate cake. So if we ask that question, what should the chatbot respond? I'm sorry, but as a health-focused assistant, I can only provide information and advice related to health questions. So we want these participants, healthcare workers, to be able to do that in our courses. Dr. Tungaraza, would like to invite you.
Let me interject before the moment of truth starts. Before Dr. Tungaraza starts tearing this thing apart and asking questions, how many of you have been using Copilot? Anybody here has been using Copilot? Just imagine after a whole day that you didn't check your email. Now a pile of emails are there. With just a quick prompt, summarize what happened or what is the most important. And in a couple of seconds, instead of sifting through all those emails and understand what's going on, right away tell you this is the top 3 thing waiting for you. How much more productive you can be. Imagine a whole day, a nurse is giving care, but a big portion of her job is also writing reports. How much AI can help to make her more productive? If we could find the right tool at the right moment and train them to use it properly, then you will see all of a sudden how much their life be easier, how much their productivity will increase. Now, I'm going to pass it to Dr. Tungaraza and see what is it that she reflects. This is the beginning of the curriculum that we are preparing to basically, and it's not just the healthcare professionals. What we're targeting is a combination of healthcare professionals and other personnel that they have, and even their technical staff under her, to basically combine in different cohorts, and after 4 courses, this is one of them, they go to capstone like yours. And those capstone projects are going to be real problems at Baptist. Real problem like the one that I just mentioned. How we can make the life of a nurse much more productive and enjoyable. That could be a topic that some of you Cap 1 students can pick it up and work on it next semester. So let me welcome Dr. Tangaraza. Give him a big hand. And welcome. Let's hear it from her.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. This is really a pleasure. I haven't been in the university setting in a while now, so it's very exciting to see you guys and all the hard work that you've been doing. Yeah, so I think this is a fantastic opportunity. And really everything that you guys have seen is pretty much what we need today in terms of educating people about AI, also for yourselves, right? I think it's all relevant. It's the kind of stuff that we do today, you know, in the business setting and for in our case, in the healthcare setting as well. So how do you help nurses? How do you help doctors for things like, you know, ease their administrative burdens, right? Doctors have to write notes, and this is where GenAI comes in very well because it can sort of synthesize the information in the medical records, help the doctors have a template, and then they can sort of clean it up, edit it, and then submit it to the EHR. Other things as well that we mentioned here are very relevant, you know, forget GenAI itself. I mean, I know GenAI right now is like the big thing, but you have things like predictive AI, which we've been doing for years, right? It's still very relevant, right? For instance, at Baptist Health, we're trying to predict how many patients are going to show up on a daily basis. That's predictive AI, and it's fantastic if you can do it, because then the nurses can plan the staffing, right? How many nurses do you need tomorrow? How many nurses are you going to need in December? So I think everything is very good. I'm very excited that you guys are doing this, and I'm also very excited for the collaboration that we are about to embark on, Baptist Health with FIU. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in our team, right? We have internships during the summer. We have job openings, right? So yes, come on over. Thanks.
It's now time for you guys to ask questions, comments. What do you guys think about AI? How have you been involved with it? What we can learn from you guys? Anybody want to take it? Any question, comment?
Criticism.
So, Janusz somehow mentioned congratulations, you guys are graduating. Not yet.
I forgot.
Not so fast. Any question, any comment? How do you guys feel about AI's role in different industries, in different fields? Anybody? Oh, come on up. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm from Blanco. I'm a computer science major. My question is mainly, I think a lot of students are in the same situation. It's how do you think AI is going to affect software development or software engineering, given that, you know, pretty much you can ask ChatGPT and it will help you produce code. So my question is in regard to that matter, what do you think it would do to the market of computer science in general?
I see one of my distinguished colleagues back there, Dr. Pat McDermott. Can you come over? I'm going to ask her to respond to that question. Come on up. Give a big hand. This lady here, she has been making a big change in our curriculum, not just this new external program that we are developing for industry. She's on a mission every single day, whether she's healthy or not. She is pushing it forward. You know how much your curriculum, computer science, IT, cybersecurity has changed in the past 2 years especially? All her. It's all her thought. Now, I'm gonna let her, and she was the one first brought it up. Oh, ChatGPT, what are we gonna do? This, that. I'm gonna let her respond to that question. Okay, repeat your question. Come on up.
I mean, the short version is what would AI, how would AI affect computer science field when it comes to software development and software engineering and our jobs?
Are they gonna be out of job? Are
Yes.
these people gonna be out of job?
All right, I'm going to give you a little history here. In 1980, I was pretty new in my career, and I was doing customer support at that time for mainframes. And the marketing people came to us and said, you know what, we're not going to need you programmers anymore because we're releasing a 4th generation language, and the customer will be able to simply input their specifications and it'll spit out code, COBOL at that time. And I was frightened. I thought I was, my career was over when it was just starting. It was 1980. Do we have any fewer programmers today? I don't think so. I will tell you, through the decades, there have always been tools that people have said, this is the silver bullet. There is no silver bullet. I'm sorry. You will learn to work with AI. It will help you with your coding. I use it in my business to help me write code. But it's not the end-all do-all, and you have to understand the code in order to know whether it's giving you useful stuff or not. So it is a tool. It is a tool, and you need to use the right tool for the right purpose. But since I'm also the academic integrity officer, let me throw out something else. I found a wonderful quote just the other day where the instructor said, you can cheat with AI as much as you want, but when you graduate, you are only allowed to work with doctors, lawyers, and dentists who cheated with AI as much as you did. Think about that for a moment. All right, so again, it's a tool, use it wisely. Did I answer your question?
Thank you so much. Give her a big hand. Thank you. You have been a big impact in our school, and we are absolutely thankful. More questions? Come on, you guys. I know you got it. Just show hands. There you go. Come on up. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm a senior. My name is Jordan Hancock. I'm studying computer science. I guess my concern, or my question is, with AI not being as regulated as it's just in the early adoption phase. In terms of healthcare, I know that HIPAA violations, keeping data, I guess, centered and protected for the patients. I guess, how do you think that will play out as, I guess, time goes on, considering that you want to implement AI in healthcare, but there's a concern with privacy or data leaks, things of that nature?
Wonderful question. I'm going to give it back to Pat and then other panelists.
So that horse has already left the barn. It has. And we just think about privacy in general and your data that's out there. Yes, we can try to rein it in. We are seriously behind the curve compared to Europe in terms of regulation, but the new world is pretty much that your data is out there, whether you like it or not.
Very true. I'm going to ask Dr. Tangaraza to chime in.
That's a very good question, and it's one that especially folks like us in hospitals are very concerned. So yes, in terms of regulations, we're still working that out as far as government regulations, even local regulations are concerned. But from a practical perspective, we put measures in place to protect our data. So number one, for instance, at Baptist Health, patient data doesn't leave our cloud environment. We have a single tenant cloud environment where we're not intermingling with other businesses, other companies, what have you. Number two, we're very selective what kind of AI tools we're using and how we're using it. So with things like LLMs, right, we're using a private link such that The data that we're sending over to an LLM does not get saved anywhere for anybody to later on take or even within seconds. Also, we don't use all sorts of LLMs, right? We're very selective there as well, making sure that whatever we're using is protected, right? And then, of course, the best thing is just stay in your local environment, use standalone LLMs that you can download and install in your environment so data stays in there. But there's a lot of security measures to protect people's data.
Thank you. So my take is, especially to my cybersecurity students, where are my cybersecurity students? Show your hand. You must say AI going to help us with all the compliances. You know how many compliances, how many controls that you have to fix? CMMC just to start with 110 controls. HIPAA, you name it. PCI DSS, and AI going to help you develop those policies, putting them in place, and develop the technical controls and so on and so forth. I see a hand up there. Come on up. Come on. Come here. Introduce yourself.
Hi, how are you? My name is Malik. I'm a computer science major as well. I grew a huge interest in cybersecurity over the last year and a half. So, as a security analyst, how would they begin to start balancing the amount of unethical hacking that's going on around the world in terms of deep faking, fraud, all malicious activity? Because the power of AI is so open to these people, and it can go into the wrong hands so quickly. So how would the typical company or analysts be able to kind of put a stop in place?
Thank you for the question. We lost another computer scientist to cybersecurity. Again, my answer is this is a back and forth fight. Use AI against it. My panelists, Greg, you want to take it?
So, to answer our next one. Okay, so I think it's all about how we're gonna handle you're talking about the security, right? These AI tools will help unethical hacking more than ever, right? This is your question. I think this is the same thing that we were discussing back in the day when internet just came, right? How we're gonna prevent people from stealing our data, getting into our accounts, hacking our Instagram accounts. So with AI, we're also gonna battle back. So with AI, we're gonna build safer and more secure systems. So the same way they can use it for the bad, we can also do very good with it if we know how to use it responsibly.
Thank you very much. We have one last question, and then after that, we're going to situate in our places, and we will let the show start. Come on up. Give a big hand.
My name is Carlos. I'm a data science major, created by Professor Reese. I guess my question is just how are regulatory bodies going to handle the copyright claims from the training data that are used for these large language models when the output is very similar to the training data?
Yeah, it's what we discussed in class, in one of our classes, that now some of the work generated by AI, right, was also trained on AI generated. So it's the recycling of what was already recycled. So that is going to be a tremendous problem that we're going to have to solve as professionals, is the data that's being trained now for the models is data that was generated through AI. That's going to be a huge thing moving forward because there is not enough data, right? All the data that we had so far was already used to train the current models. So newer models will be trained on what? AI generated data. So that's going to be a tremendous thing for us to think about for the next years.
Thank you. Perfect timing. Let's give a big hand to our panelists. And panelists. So I'm going to ask my students, my capture student, go back to your stations. We're gonna start momentarily. All Cap 2 students back to your stations. All my judges, you have received an email this morning with the instruction and the link to your evaluation form. You're expected to evaluate 3 projects. Pick your favorite one, spend 30 minutes per